Hey everybody. I bet you've heard a lot about artificial intelligence this week, so I'm gonna keep that going a little bit. I'm really excited to talk to you today about how vibe coding can absolutely accelerate the growth of organizations building software. Now at Intelligenic, we know a little bit about this. Our AI-driven platform automates software development by providing enterprise-ready context to produce production-ready code with minimal iterations. We effectively enable vibe coding. Now, with those benefits, though, there are many benefits associated with vibe coding. You can expect to be able to produce much more code in much less time, with much less effort and much less cost. However, the challenges are 100% real. You typically require a lot of technical expertise to be able to produce anything of meaningful value. You need to know exactly what sort of prompt to provide it, the instructions that you're going to give to the model, and they need to be precise. You need to be able to provide it with context. It absolutely knows nothing about what you're developing, so you need to be able to provide that. And then usually you have to iterate again and again and again. And if you get all that right, you don't often actually get to recognize the value associated with what you just tried to do. Very real challenges. They may seem daunting, but I'm here to tell you that they can be resolved if you just follow a few of these techniques that we'll go over today. First and foremost, context is absolutely king. You need to be able to provide information about your organization, as well as the application that you're trying to build for the models to understand what they need to be able to produce. When you're managing the data related to artificial intelligence, treat it like any other application. Don't try to give the model something like a massive amount of unstructured data. It just can't handle it. They're not designed to do that. Break it down into more manageable chunks. Use traditional data management techniques such as relational databases, and given that this is AI, you can also use GraphRag. The combination of the two of those things allows you to provide these smaller chunks in more relevant fashion to the model so that they can produce much higher quality output. Prompts are key. You need to provide instructions to it. You need to be able to make them very precise. Don't be afraid to change up the model. Use the best model for the actual task at hand. If you're developing code, that's Claude Code. It's really great, but don't be afraid to change it when other models improve. It happens all the time. One problem that I see happen again and again is that organizations try to do way too much. You put in a prompt, you try to create a massive application. It doesn't work that way. Break it down into manageable chunks, like user story by user story, just like you would if you didn't have artificial intelligence and you were going to assign it to your engineers. They work much better when you do that. And then lastly, this is absolutely not a substitute for testing. You have to validate that what you've built is actually meeting your needs and your requirements. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Intelligenic's growth story, which is very much rooted in vibe coding. Much like the monolith in 2001, A Space Odyssey helped humans advance themselves well beyond their capabilities, so has artificial intelligence and vibe coding for Intelligenic. As a result, it's allowed us to be able to take our product to market in a matter of months. This is unheard of. It wouldn't have been this way years ago. And as a result, we now have our first customer, the United States Department of Defense, woohoo! And we're now sharing it with the over 1,000 people that are on our waiting list. Very exciting times. So, vibe coding can really accelerate software development. It converts development velocity into business velocity. If you want to learn more about how to vibe code your way to growth, please visit Intelligenic's site. You can do that by using that. That QR code will take you straight there. Be happy to share more information about it. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of Web Summit.